Thank you, Speaker. Along with many Australians across the country, I was disappointed when in April this year the Environment Minister announced that the Albanese government had postponed its promise to fix Australia's broken nature laws, the EPBC Act, Environment Protection Biodiversity Conservation Act. The Minister has said that the plans have been simply pushed back, but with no firm commitment to get them passed through Parliament before the next election, it may be that these broken laws have a good chance of remaining broken, which is why the opportunity must be grasped right now to meaningfully strengthen our national nature laws right now. We've been debating today the so-called Stage 2 of the EPBC Act reforms, which will establish the two bodies, Environment Protection Australia and Environment Information Australia. These are indeed crucial bodies that do need to be established, and I commend the government for creating them. The problem is, however, that once established, these bodies will only be overseeing our fundamentally broken laws, laws which for the past 25 years have failed to protect nature in this country. Which is why today I bring a series of amendments to the bills in an attempt to fix right now, while there is the chance, some of the most egregious failings of the EPBC Act as it currently stands. Mr Speaker, Australia was hopeful after the 2022 election, hopeful of climate action and hopeful for nature protection. Unfortunately, 2 years down the track, we continue to watch on while our native forests, including critical habitat of threatened species, continues to be clear-felled. We watch on while land clearing for beef industry continues at a rate that makes Australia a global deforestation hotspot alongside the Amazon and Borneo. And we watch on while the list of threatened species in this country continues to grow rather than contract. So I've been working on a range of amendments with dedicated environmental organisations who all agree that these amendments that I bring forward today are both critical and urgent, but also simple and achievable. In consultation with these groups, I've drafted amendments which do three things to protect our bushland and our trees. The first is to repeal the exemption for the regional forestry agreements in the EPBC Act. Logging conducted under these agreements is currently exempt from needing a federal government approval. My amendments would fix this by simply requiring that, like all other conduct that may have a significant impact on our environment, logging under these regional forestry agreements must be referred for assessment and approval under the EPBC Act. It is a simple ask. As Professor Graham Samuels himself said, we ought to get rid of these RFAs. They should never have been introduced in the first place. I'd be urging state governments to get rid of them. They shouldn't be there. I thought they were a shocker, really. The second amendment is similar. It would repeal what is called the continuous use exemption. Under this exemption, land clearing activity on private land that was occurring before the environment laws were introduced in 1999 is allowed to continue. This exemption has been exploited and is largely responsible for making Australia a global deforestation hotspot. It must be repealed. Again, this amendment does not prohibit land clearing. It simply requires that if you want to clear land, you need approval to do so, to ensure that critical habitat for threatened or migratory species is not being destroyed. The third amendment is the insertion of a new provision that puts beyond doubt the circumstances in which logging needs federal government assessment and approval. This amendment makes clear that any area over 20 hectares where threatened or migratory species may exist must be referred for assessment under the National EPBC Act. So these amendments do not ban anything, they do not prohibit anything, they simply put land clearing and native forest logging on the same footing as other activities which require federal government approval. If approved, they can still go ahead. So, Mr Speaker, it is possible to take the opportunity right now to fix these clearly broken parts of our national environment laws. These amendments are urgent and they are possible, and there is no need to delay, and our wildlife can't wait. I commend these amendments to the House. Thank you.